Hello, this is Colin Liddell, and this is the Shortpod, a brief and succinct podcast commenting on the events and issues of the day. And today it is the 25th of November 2023. Recently, there's been lots of news about riots in Ireland. These have been caused by a bit of diversity breaking out, leading to a stabbing attack on some innocent children by somebody who is reportedly of a migrant background. This has led to so-called far-right / concerned citizens taking to the streets and burning a few buses or trams. And the Irish police seem to be having quite a job coping with this outbreak. Now, this is an interesting contrast to the United Kingdom, I think. In the United Kingdom, there is a much greater diversity problem, to be honest, than there is in Ireland, but there is a lot less backlash, shall we say. The United Kingdom is about 18% non-white. It has millions of Muslims. It has been subjected to many grooming gangs, particularly in northern English cities and so on. And there have been frequent and outrageous terrorist attacks, stretching back several years. Ireland, by contrast, has a relatively small non-white population. According to the latest statistics, which are dated 2022, Ireland has a smaller percentage of non-whites than the UK. In particular, they have a lot fewer Muslims. Britain's Muslim population is around 6.5%. Ireland's Muslim population is about 1.6%. So altogether, Ireland has much less of a diversity problem than the UK. But, as we are seeing on the streets of Dublin, they're having much more of a backlash against immigration and diversity than the UK. What does this teach us? What we're seeing here is that the Irish don't know how to control the pressures of multiculturalism as well as the British state does. The British state is very skillful at dealing with the pressures of multiculturalism. Multiculturalism has been brewing in the United Kingdom for a longer period of time, and also the British state is much more developed than the Irish state. The British state has a much bigger secret service, it has more operatives, it has more skills, it knows how to infiltrate groups, it knows how to destabilise dissident groups and dissident parties. The Irish state, by contrast, it operates on a much lower level. It operates on a much smaller budget. It doesn't have the same level of expertise as the British state. Now, the British state, whenever there's a diversity problem, whenever some sort of incident happens involving migrants, they spring into action with their damage control mechanisms. The media is mobilised, especially the BBC. The rest of the media is also very, very careful what they say. That is not by accident, that is by design. All of these media organisations know that they have to follow a certain line in cases like this. So the British state is much better, much more skillful at preventing things going viral, preventing things sparking off trouble. Any groups that might try to piggyback on an incident and kick off some trouble, those groups will be heavily monitored. They will be, in many cases, infiltrated. For example, the British National Party, the English Defence League, all these kinds of organisations which might respond to an ethnic stabbing in the way that we see in Ireland. All those kinds of groups will already have been considerably neutered beforehand. So the British deep state is much more attuned to the problems of multiculturalism than the Irish deep state. And the Irish deep state is much more underpowered compared to the British deep state. So this is what we're seeing in Ireland now. We're seeing a very unprepared, weak Irish deep state that has bitten off more than it can chew by allowing the country to go down the same road of multiculturalism as its larger neighbour. over and out.